Hey guys, today I'm going to give you a guided watercolor demonstration. I grew up doing art since I was little, like preschool. I'm sure all of us can remember the little plastic paint, super cheap palette that we all got when we did like art projects, and that is actually watercolor. My first like actual watercolor that I can remember just really loving. I made these wooden like ornaments. I painted a watercolor scene on those. You paint it white and then you do watercolor on top and then you trace it with a black Sharpie. But that turned out really cool, and then I got into watercolor and I started making cards and stuff. I did that for graduation and I've done it for birthdays, anniversaries, holidays and stuff. I've been making my own watercolor cards. Before we get started, I also brought my little up house because if I had all of the tools and everything to do clay, I'd probably be showing you clay because it's my favorite. But watercolor is super simple and super easy and everybody can do it. So I'm going to do a little tutorial. As far as tools go, you need some paintbrushes. I have a lot here, but I just picked out 3. I like more of the like a tapered, it just holds water better, and then I have like a couple different sizes. These are my favorite for watercolor though because they just hold the water better. And then paper, I'm going to go over this, and then obviously paint. This is the watercolor that I have. It's squeeze out, and then you just need obviously your water. And then I have a cute little palette here that's actually like a travel one, but you put your paint in there, and so I'm probably going to be using this. But before I got that, just a good old paper plate is perfect. Also, pens to outline your cards. So paper. So this is actual watercolor paper or just media paper. And then I have printer paper and then cardstock. So just to show you guys, that works great. And then printer paper is not the best. So cardstock, it works out pretty good. It dries quick. The printer paper, not good. Do not use printer paper. It starts to pill up, and then as you can see, it doesn't do wet. Like anytime you've gotten assignments wet, I'm sure you know, it gets the crinkly and it just doesn't work. It's way too flimsy. Don't use printer paper. So don't use that. Cardstock does work though. It holds it like, and it dries quick and it holds well. So I don't like using cardstock just because in watercolor it's nice to be able to move your colors around still. Like, I don't know if you can tell, but this isn't dry yet. It's actually still wet, which is really nice when doing watercolor because it's super forgiving and you can still move it around for a while after it's put on the paper, and you can take color off, add, like dilute it with water. So cardstock works, it's just not as forgiving. So I'm going to be using my watercolor paper today. So the first thing I'm actually going to start off with is something that I've seen on Pinterest that I really wanted to try, and it was watercolor bubbles. So I've got some colors on my little palette. I have no idea how this is going to turn out, so we will see. I think I might have too much water on here, so I'm just gonna, also having a napkin nearby is very helpful. Ooh. Okay, let's just try. I'm just gonna go in and add a little bit of yellow in here because I didn't get a lot. And then I think I want some more purple over here. Okay, that's kind of bubble-ish. Now we're gonna add some water to this and see if we can bring it to life. Yeah, that's kind of a bubble. You guys can't really see that, but I would say that's a bubble. That turned out pretty good. So with this, you want to have a stronger, like all this water, I had all of that at first, but for the ring, you want it to be more concentrated with the paint, because like if you can think about a bubble, the only thing you see is the outside and then it's clear. So making a watercolor bubble, you want this to be your more concentrated color. And then all I did was I took a bigger brush, I took some of the water off at first, and then I go back in the water and I go in with a drenched brush, and that's all I needed. And I just went over around the outside of that colored ring that I had, and then I left some white spots to show like the reflection to just make it seem a little more realistic. This is what we made today, and then I'd usually do something on the inside. Have napkins when you're doing watercolor and just have fun with it, because there's so many there's paint everywhere. If you gave this to somebody who is having, this might not be the best motto to let your problems float away, but it's cute. So I hope you maybe will use this, and I hope you enjoyed watching me make this card. Thank you so much.